What's up guys and girls, Lazy Dragon here, and welcome to another Retro Let's Play. And this time, to commemorate 30 years of The Simpsons, we're playing The Simpsons Wrestling. And that's right, it's been 30 years, 1987 when The Simpsons first started airing. Doesn't time just fly? And they haven't been relevant for about 22 of those 30 years. But of course, the best part about any entertainment institution that's as long running as The Simpsons is that there are tons of tie-in games. And some of these games are good. Some of these games are not quite so good. And some of these games are absolutely abysmal. 3 guesses which category The Simpsons Wrestling falls into. Now the problems start pretty much from the word go. Let's say you want to play a practice game just to get a feel for the mechanics. 8 characters. This is a fighting game that has 8 characters at launch. That's it. Out of all the characters in The Simpsons, they picked 8 to represent them. Yet there are 4 locked characters. Would you like to know who they are? Bumblebee Man, Itchy and Scratchy, who are 2 separate characters, and Kang and Kodos, the 2 aliens. They didn't bother with Chief Wiggum, or Principal Skinner, or Ralph, or Superintendent Chalmers, or Edna, or any of the other fan favourites. No. They said, let's have an animated cat, an animated rat, and a dude dressed in a Bumblebee costume. Solid. Now you could make the argument that this game came out in 2001, so it would be difficult for them to have more than 12 characters. Now that would be a fair point. Except, do you know what else came out in 2001? Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah. It came out in Japan in November of 2001, and USA in December of 2001. Would you like to know how many characters Melee has? 26. 15 of which are available at the word go. It's got more than double the characters than this game. They came out in the same year. It's ridiculous. And then the problems just keep getting worse. You go from the character select screen, there's no level select, it just randomly picks a map for you. So if for some reason you've become emotionally attached to the inside of Moe's bar, then you're just going to have to hope it comes up in rotation. Let's say that you don't care about the character roster. Let's say for a minute that maybe the graphics could save this game. Maybe if the levels are pretty enough, then the game will still be worthwhile to play. But, you know, fair enough. There are plenty of games these days that get away with having great graphics and bugger all gameplay. But do these look like great graphics to you? All of the background characters are made out of cardboard. Look at them. Every single one is a cardboard cutout. They're almost as flat and emotionless as I am. When this game came out, The Simpsons had been on the air for about 13-14 years. They had mastered basic character modelling by Series 2. How has this game not grasped that? And it doesn't matter which level you play on. Every background character is a cardboard cutout, and every house is just made out of boxes of cardboard stacked one on top of the other. But okay, let's say that in this fighting game the character roster doesn't matter, and we'll say that the graphics, we don't care about them. You know, that's a common complaint these days, is that people focus too much on graphics, not enough on gameplay, so we'll give them a pass on the graphics and on the low character roster, as long as the gameplay's fun, right? That's all that matters in a game. As long as the gameplay's fun, that's the main thing, right? So let's judge it by its gameplay. And first of all, it's got a punch button, which I find is always good for a wrestling game. It's also got a kick button. The problem is that these 2 buttons are in fact the same button, the square button. All of your physical attacks are mapped to one button. Obviously they weren't paying attention to Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, because the only combo is to tap square repeatedly. Until eventually your opponent falls on the floor and starts spazzing like a fish. It's okay, because then you can jump on top of them and tap them out, even though there's no referee. Maybe it would have cost too much to put a referee in the game. No, what we really needed was independent character modelling for Kang and bloody Kodos. But maybe I'm being too harsh on this game. Maybe the special abilities will save it. As you can see, you've got triangle and circle, and both of those do special things, depending on which character. As you can see, Bart gets a slingshot, which has all the accuracy of a blind man using a slingshot. Or you can use their super powerful ability, Map to Circle, where Bart gets on his skateboard. Of course, this game came out on the PS1, so you had to steer the skateboard with the D-pad. Have you ever tried to play a skateboarding game with the D-pad? It's not easy. So not only does this game fail at being an entertaining wrestling game, it also fails at basic movement, it fails at being a fun skateboarding game, and it fails at pretty much everything else it tries. But you can taunt. Taunting's good, right? Yeah, a button which instantly makes you invincible. So if your opponent's getting their ass kicked, which they probably will be, and then you taunt, the only way to build up your taunt is to kick your opponent's ass, then there's no way for the other player to come back. It would be like playing Mario Kart, except the person in first place got Bullet Bill, and the person in last place ended up with the banana peel. The invincibility buff should go to the person who's being beaten up to give them a chance to break out and fight back, not to the dude who's currently wailing on their corpse. Maybe it's just the characters. Maybe if we try a different character, the game will be more enjoyable. Let's try Willy. Come on, Willy, you can do this. You've got a rake and everything. Look at him go. Somehow, an angry Scotsman without his shirt, smashing opponents around the head with a rake, deals just as much damage as a small boy bitch slapping his opponent. They made their bitch slaps to last in 2001. Now, I don't want to draw too many parallels between Super Smash Bros. And Simpsons Wrestling, but can anyone else say Golden Hammer? What else can you do, Willy? You can spin in a circle. Great. We've got a shirtless Scotsman who's also a pole dancer named Willy. Game that I don't think this is age appropriate for children. Also, if you run up to the ropes and press square, you can knock yourself out. Or triangle. Let's see if circle knocks us out as well. Yep, we didn't even hit anyone that time. Willy just goes through the air like an angry Scotsman. And now don't count us out. It's not my fault that my helicopter rake is so powerful. So the character roster is minute, the graphics are absolutely awful, the core gameplay is just spamming one button repeatedly, it's possible to knock yourself out whilst doing a super move. The other super moves that you've got are either incredibly powerful to the point of being broken, or have absolutely no effect at all because you're too busy trying to control the skateboard to continue wrestling. The winning player always gets the power up. The losing player has no way of coming back at any point. Is there anything going in this game's favour? Anything? Oh, that's right. You can jump on your opponent's head. Repeatedly. Like Mario on steroids. And you can win a match like that. Their health goes down. And there's no block. There's no blocking in this game. So you can't defend against someone bouncing on your head repeatedly. Look, he's down on the floor. All we're doing is jumping on his bum. And still, every time we do it, it resets his meter. It makes him lie on the ground even longer. You can win an entire match just by jumping on your opponent's head. Bounce and bounce and bounce. All we're going to do, no super moves, just jump on their head repeatedly. Like we're trying to go for Employee of the Month in the Mushroom Kingdom. and done. We've just won a match by doing nothing except jumping up and down on our opponent's head. Can you imagine that in the WWE? The next WrestleMania, it's just Roman Reigns constantly bouncing up and down on his opponent. But all of these negatives can't have had that bad of an impact on the game, right? I mean, it's got Simpsons on the cover. People must have loved it. Oh no. That's not good. That's a big red 32 right there. That's a lot of critics giving the game a 0. No points whatsoever. I think that might be slightly harsh. We've also got some critics on here who don't appear to exist anymore. I googled Total Video Gamer. They have a Twitter account that hasn't tweeted since 2012. So it looks like The Simpsons Wrestling got the last laugh on them. Also, who the hell is reviewing this game in 2016? What exactly made them want to do that? Who exactly is looking for reviews of this game in 2016? Hell, the only reason I'm playing it is because it's a retro thing. Then again, you could ask, who's the bigger idiot? The person reviewing the game in 2016? Or the person who a year later looks up that review online and then mocks it in a different internet video? Food for thought. So core gameplay, awful. Graphics, abysmal. Character roster, underwhelming. Critical reviews, well, you just saw, they hated it, including that one very angry man from 2016. Does this game have any redeeming features? Any at all? Well, you can go into the menus and turn off the voice acting. Yeah. The one selling point of this game is that it's The Simpsons. It has The Simpsons and their voice actors. They've put it quite prominently on the back of the box. And here you can just turn it off. Why would you want to do that? That's the game's one unique selling point. That's the only reason people bought this thing. It would be like buying a Battlefield game, only to find out that you can turn off multiplayer. I mean, what's the point then? Their stories are always absolute crap. Why on earth would you buy one if it wasn't for the multiplayer? And we've just won another match by jumping on someone's head. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up, because I'm sorry Simpsons Wrestling, but with these retro reviews, it's always a bit of a crapshoot. Sometimes you get a game that's absolutely absurd and amazing, like Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and sometimes you get games that are just naff. These are the games that deserve to join E.T. in that landfill. Sorry Simpsons, but you've let yourself down with this one. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed our latest outing into the history of gaming. Maybe next time it'll be a good game. Or maybe next time it'll be Superman 64, who knows. But there'll be links down in the description to a huge playlist and previous retro games we've done. So if you want to watch some more of them, why don't you subscribe? And now that I'm done selling out, thank you for watching, and until next time, farewell everyone.